Well, what do you know? Captain on the bridge. Hey everyone. And it's been quite an interesting week. I've been recovering from my surgery. I also got my a booster for Corona this week, as in yesterday. And I got my Tron tickets as well for this weekend. So, might as well do this month's gaming vlog. I mean, mostly focusing on what I've been playing. I mean, during recovery, what I'm about to play, apart from the obvious one you might have guessed. But I will address the biggest pieces of messy news that I possibly can. So let's begin. Right, let's start with the big one: how Electronic Arts was sold to private equity firms for a deal worth $55 billion equivalent, and even as I work on putting together my Jedi cosplay this year, you can see the robe. This news, who's like many others, fills me with an immense lack of enthusiasm. And in my case, it's from a business standpoint where some people are saying, "Oh, the character's going to be like this. They're going to end up changing stories like that." I can't even get to that point because of how low on a raw level my opinion of it is of private equity in general, no matter who's involved with it. Man, I normally don't get into this kind of stuff, but I'm doing it purely educational purposes, especially as the deal means they're actually sitting in about $20 billion of red ink. So anything they're doing as a company is obviously going to get worse before it gets better. I can tell you that much for free. On that subject, that Microsoft and Xbox are having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad time with their PR right now. How, especially with the whole price hikes surrounding Game Pass and their consoles across the board. I mean, I know they're not the only ones that have been and hiking prices on their system and services, but compared to what Sony and Nintendo have done, leave it to who the House of Nadella saying "Hold my do" and and go even higher here, and their absolute mess and the messaging has not helped matters either. I mean, especially since they don't seem to realize that the messaging itself is the problem. Not gonna surprise me if they end up going third party, really. But I'm gonna save the whole talk about that for my video on how Microsoft Xbox lost the plot. I mean, I've been working on for a while. Just that stuff keeps happening, and a lot of it is pouring fuel on the fires they're setting. Doesn't matter whether it's a whole company or one person on YouTube. Like, it's the same result when there's no one to tell them, "No, Phil, we're not posting anything else right now. We need to wait. Need to see what the reaction is and maybe go dark for a bit and turn our next move." Ooh. And now that I've got that bandage ripped off, let's talk about what I'm currently playing. I'm excited to play. Alright, so obviously I'm gonna lead off with what I'm playing on Switch. It's especially with what I'm excited to. We are 1 week away from the release of Pokemon Legends of the A, and though I'm not getting as complete as I would hope for some of these ones, my full look at Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is ready to go in 6 days, and I'm officially deciding I'm going to be starting with Totodile in Legends of the A. I'm not going to say why, is because I do not really appreciate the reason as was leaked to me, even though I specifically put out that PSA not to. But that was one of the two ones I noted down to a long time ago. I got backlist for the other two once home support goes live, 2026. And of course, I finally got my other shiny Koraidon after that Fufara in late September, that things are going a bit smoother and not getting the green light. And the ones I'm most focusing on once I'm completing are related to Sinnoh and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, since I've already done it with Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. I'm just kind of playing those two for funsies. Splatoon 3, I am still very much into, and even though I do enjoy seeing Mario and Wario come to the States for the first time, I'm officially the strategy game which has a lot of future Pokemon staffers on it. And definitely a nice way to test the mouse function how to switch to, which is still doing game busters, making it as very much not, in fact, the Wii U 2. Even my 3DS 2 low ball may have been just that, a low ball. And even Fatal Fury Special is a pretty decent port of the fighting game, even though it's not quite arcade perfect. And I maintain I still have no real formal opinion on Bubsy being part of SNES Classics. I have a similar view of that when I do a Gwimbly, a ooh ooh ooh. If it wasn't for Atari and Digital Eclipse, I would imagine the Bobcat would be hosed down by Alan and doing stuff for a 5 spot on Cameo, while trying to barely hide his resentment for the energy that turned up his back on him. Yeah, seriously, go watch Smiling Friends if you haven't already. Of course, I still make sure to maintain my village of Dogtown Animal Crossing. I don't consider myself a lord of Dogtown, but the Z Boys are very much I have an in with, and I've been playing more Mario Party 3 on HD4 Classics as well. I didn't play or enjoy the ones most of the first two games worth playing, I'll say that much. And another one I kind of got on a whim here. Fling It Shoe Kicking, which always, I got it only for a few dollars on the eShop. I do that sometimes, but not often. And also, I think, with this in mind, before I switch to the PlayStation front, read the press release that the company sent to Go Nintendo. Ever been swinging around, wanting to send your shoes flying, but didn't want to end up with dirty socks? Well, now you can in game form. Fling It, shoe kicking will live your wildest shoe dreams, sending both the right and left shoe flying, play many different modes, including score attack, battle, and ranking. Yes, folks, I can appreciate both the latest high-tech masterpieces and just a quirky little title about a Japanese playground game. Kind of like that one that Yotsuba played with her father Koiwai, or kind of like Osaka and Osmogadaya when her shoe landed on a passing truck. Also happened the same way with Yoko and Nichijou, starting City Animation 2 as well, where she loses one a passing car, trips, and loses the other one trying to get it back. It's a very, very silly, ordinary life. Alright, on to the PlayStation front. I did mention I finally played Last of Us Part 2. I even beat the story campaign for the first time. And while I may not be as hard on the game as other people, even I'm willing to concede I did not enjoy it as much as the first game. I'm not going to say much more beyond that. I'm just researching a project I'm working on too. And I do like how flexible the accessibility options are, especially in terms of difficulty. And the New Game Plus makes once a completion easier, where it actually helps with it. You keep your ability and weapon upgrades. I also didn't finish cracking all the saves I hoped to, Yeah. And as for the other lead, she's honestly didn't look any more juice than the female characters typically made in most fighting games. On that subject, it's both Tekken 3 and Soul Calibur 3 are coming to PS Plus later this month. Look forward to playing those. And of course, the Worst Kept Secret, which was confirmed during State of Play last month, of 2-year anniversary to get a head start on the 30th anniversary of the whole franchise. Which was something of a remake of the original Tomb Raider game from Crystal Dynamics. And honestly, I think they did a good job with it. I mean, how that they kept things consistent from the original game, but also expanded upon details about why Laura is the way she is. I mean, they didn't go as heavy as like the subsequent reboot trilogy, which I often call like the Croft family drama trilogy. Hey, but they also did at least maintain it makes it fun to play. Hey, I mean, less is more, fellas. Sometimes a simple joy of an archaeologist slash countess traveling to interesting places and preserving history, to borrow a line from her noble counterpart Indiana Jones, it belongs in a museum. Of course, new month means a new drop of titles. I still trying to decipher the warning I got from my app, but I've been kind of giving some of the 6-month warning for playing out the lessons, and another motivator to get my PS5 before the year is out is Alan Wake 2 has come to the service. Even though it wasn't quite as good or as popular as the first game was, I would make the case that's worth playing. I still like the idea that all of the ones in the that Remedy has worked on in the Single Universe, along with Max Payne, my personal favorite, Control. And Cocoon, an interesting, unique bit of adventure puzzle title. I always kind of like it when they do interesting things with puzzles in games. Some of them are merely a bit cryptic, but it makes all the more satisfying when you crack it, as in Eureka, right there, And what I have to say is my favorite of the essential drops, Goat Simulator 3, where they actually make the bugs a selling point. Anyway, that's all I got to say for now. I will definitely be seeing the rest of you programs and users at Tron this weekend. But first, there'll be another movie I'll be talking about. That's not necessarily a spooky one, but rather one that's kind of sweet. The subject is also based on an individual who may have passed before his time, but still left an impact even to this day. That was all for now. Take care, everyone.